In this video, I'm going to show you what Phil and I did to add Mark IV hood hinges to our Mark II Factory 5 Roadsters.
So the Mark II hood is actually a single piece of fiberglass with the hood scoop molded in the middle. So I think 3 and 4, they have a separate bolt-on hood scoop. And they also have an internal structure on the newer ones that allow you to mount the hood hinge kit really easily, but not with the Mark II and the Mark I hoods. So because we have a single piece of fiberglass here, I like the look of the hood pins, and it's been on the car like that for 20 years. So I decided to copy Phil's design and keep the hood pins and sort of use those to hold the hood. What we need to do is make a structure to bolt this to.
Phil welded his brackets to two 4x5 pieces of metal that were then held to the hood using the hood pins and the Allen head screws. But my brackets were stainless, and I didn't have any stainless rods or stock, so I tweaked his design a bit.
What we did was I made a template out of cardboard, and because there's a pretty good curvature to the hood, you have to have it curved on the edges where the hood pins come through, and then I had it flat across the middle. And also I thought that would give it a little more strength. Probably not even needed, but I did that. So then what I did was I transferred that pattern over to a piece of rusty metal, as you will do.
To start the hood hinge install, I had to remove this custom aluminum panel that Phil made me that sits on top of the hood pin brackets. The panel hid the radiator and helped direct air through the radiator. It was also a nice place to set the battery charger. After that, I had to remove the hood pin brackets, which involved drilling out the rivets on one side and on the back side removing the bolts.
Yeah, let's pull it out here.
These are different.
Are they? Oh shoot, are they?
Yeah, because mine were rounded slots.
Okay, let's pair them all up. So can we even tell? Are they stamped? They're not even stamped. What you got here? Is this the other side? Okay, here's one side. Here's the other side. Right. Oh, here's these things you were talking about. So this is one side for there, one side for.
Okay, you're not gonna need those.
Oh, that's the part we don't. That's right. Okay, gotcha. So we should here put these. There, one for this side, one for that side, one for this side. No. Oh, son of a biscuit. Wait, was this part of the prop though? Maybe the prop.
No, that's.
What is that for?
You need. Look at mine.
Oh.
Turns out we were missing one of the brackets from the hood hinge kit, so Phil and I decided that we could just make a stand-in piece until Factory 5 sent us the correct one. It was a very straightforward piece to make with just a couple of bends and a couple of holes in it. We cut reliefs in the sides to match the Factory 5 piece.
All right, so we fabricated up this piece. This is how they work. Just gonna go on here. Then I'm gonna bend these down, the ends down.
So I bolted the bracket up onto the hood hinges, and then I had to raise it up so that when the hood was on the car, it would sit directly on top of the bracket. Then I took a Sharpie and marked the holes where I needed to drill so that the hood pins would connect the bracket to the hood and hold it.
So the hood pins are this long, which is way too long when you're using the hood hinges. So what I did was I cut the hood pin into just the size that I needed.
Before cutting the hood pin, you need to use a die and extend the threads up closer to the top of the hood pin.
But then I found out that this piece right here, this leftover piece, is a perfect size for fitting everything up. So what you need to do is sort of radius the edge here, chamfer the edge, I forget what the word is, but deburr this edge right here. And then what you can do is mount this on the car with a nut on the bottom and a nut on the top.
Then we taped the nuts to the bottom of the bracket and put the bracket down, and then we set the hood in place. And then we took the hood pins and pushed them through the hole and connected to the nut and then screwed them tight. And after they were tight, you could raise the hood, and the hood pins were holding the hood to the bracket. So what you have is the hood pin bolt, a nut on the bottom, the bracket that ties the two hood pins together, the hood, the wide washer on top of the hood, a thicker washer, and then finally on top of that, a nut again, holding it all together. And at this point we could adjust the brackets left and right and up and down and get the hood perfectly centered on the car. Then I started thinking about that aluminum anodized piece that Phil had made me and how I should be able to modify that to use as that brace instead of that piece of steel. So I cut it in half, more or less, leaving the part that redirects the air under the radiator or through the radiator, and the other part that I could use as a bracket.
Okay, welcome back to Mike's Garage with Mike and Phil. Today we are going to swap out this piece that Factory 5 sent me. What the heck is this? Oh man. I don't even know if you can see that. So today we're going to swap out this piece that Factory 5 forgot to send or didn't have or something. So it arrived last week, and Phil and I had made the stand-in part for a while, right? And it's on my hood hinges on the Cobra. We're in the nice heated garage. It's Minnesota in February. What is it, 19 out?
20 degrees when I came over. Yep.
Degrees, nice and warm.
Coffee and donuts. We're set.
So here we are.
We swapped in the piece just to make sure that everything fit correctly with the new piece. Then we put the hood back on and tightened it back down using the hood pin bolts, then drilled through the bracket using the button head screw holes, and finally installed the button head screws. So what you have now is 4 Allen head screws on each side holding it all together in addition to the hood pin bolts. And then it was time to take it all back apart for priming and painting and getting ready for final assembly.
This is what the aluminum piece looks like on the car with the painted hood hinges, and I also incorporated a shim to bring the hood hinges out toward the center of the car so that the hood pin wouldn't hit this guy right here. So it scooched everything out, hopefully just enough that the pin is not getting into this bolt right here. So you don't end up using these struts on the Mark 1 or Mark 2 hoods because they would put too much pressure on the hood, which is, again, a single sheet of fiberglass. So it would probably end up warping or breaking the fiberglass. So instead, you make a prop rod.
Then I tapped 2 holes in the frame and installed a bracket to hold the prop rod where it pivots, and on the front a bracket to hold the prop rod when it's down.
Here's the final assembly. You have the much shortened hood pin, and I'm actually using the lock. Then you have the button head screws which go through the bigger washer. The actual wire lock actually goes through a slightly thicker washer. Then on the back side, you have the bracket, which is aluminum. You have lock nuts on the button head screws coming through. You have the shortened hood pin, and then you have the nut on the back. And while that's very close, it's not hitting at all. Thanks for watching my video, and also thanks to Phil for helping me and showing me how to add hood hinges to a finished Factory 5 Cobra. If you like the video, hit the like button and think about subscribing. It really does help the YouTube algorithms find my channel. And again, thanks.